we are given that the area of this rectangle is 54 square units, and we want to find the dimensions of the rectangle. Now, by the way, on your figure, x plus 2 was down here, and since it is a rectangle, this length is the same as this, so I placed x plus 2 up there just for space purposes. But we're given that the area is 54 square units. So how do you find the area of a rectangle? Area is length times width. So that means that we know length, x plus 2, times width, x minus 1, is equal to 54. We want to take this and solve for x. Now, by the way, here's an important question. Can I set this factor equal to 54 and then this factor equal to 54? The answer is no. Remember, to use that zero factor theorem, one side must be a factored polynomial. It is on the left side, but the other side must be 0. It must be 0. So let's go ahead and multiply. X times x is x squared, and then this is negative 1x plus 2x, so negative 1x plus 2x, negative 1 plus 2 is 1, so I have plus 1x or plus x, then last times last, that's minus 2 is equal to 54, and now we will subtract 54 from both sides so that we have 0 on one side of our equation. So I'll have x squared plus x. I am subtracting 54 from both sides. Negative 2 minus 54, that is negative 56. I'll write minus 56, and 54 minus 54 is 0. Now we have 0 on one side. Now we need that factored polynomial on the other side. So let's try x and x for x squared. Let's look for a couple of factors of negative 56 whose sum is the coefficient of x, which is 1. How about negative 7 and positive 8? Now let's check. That's x squared, and then here the outer or outside terms, I have 8x minus 7x is 1x or x. Last times last is negative 56 equal to 0. Now I can use the zero factor theorem because one side is a factored polynomial, the other side is 0. Very, very, very important. So now I can set each factor equal to 0. And what happens here? Here I'll add 7 to both sides, and I'll have that x is 7. Or here I'll subtract 8 from both sides, so I'll have x is negative 8. Now these are both solutions to our original equation. Let's see what happens when we go back to our figure. Don't forget we have 7 and also negative 8 as solutions, and let's go back to our figure. For example, especially negative 8. If x is negative 8, look what we have as a dimension of this rectangle. We have negative 8 minus 1, which is negative 9, and we will not have a width of a rectangle being a negative number. So because of this word problem, because we have something to do here with a rectangle and dimensions, that negative 8 will not be considered a solution. Let's try 7. Let's suppose then if x is 7, we'll have 7 plus 2, which is 9 units. And if x is 7, we'll have 7 minus 1, which is 6 units. So the dimensions of my rectangle are 9 units by 6 units.